Hey guys, I did not think I was gonna do another upload on YouTube this quickly, but I got me a whole little notepad here of stuff that's went down since I left the hospital. Um, Sorry, I'm going hoarse from sleeping underneath the air conditioner vent all night and not getting enough sleep. I know my face is all red. I look ridiculous. But I don't even remember how much sleep I got when I finally got home and got to lay down. But just my little list. I wanted to update everybody. This is the quickest way to do it on what all they said today since I've been gone. First and foremost, the spinal tap is clear, thank God. So they're thinking that since it's clear and he's already gotten his first round of chemo, that it's going to lower the chances of it actually moving into the spinal fluid. So they're thinking that they won't have to do as many spinal taps as they originally thought. The way they explained it was he's going to get 3 different types of medicines to combat this. One is going to be prednisone, which is a steroid. He's going to get that twice a day, every day. And the other 2 are the actual chemo drugs. They're going to fight this with 2 different chemo drugs. I don't know if they're going to do both of them every time he gets the chemo treatment. That's something that we'll figure out later on down the road. But for today, to get him started, they gave him half doses of both medicines. So one took about, I think Bradley said 15 minutes, and the other one was like 2. So it's relatively quick. But they said he handled both of them great. There was no side effects that they could see. So he did great with that. The blood work so far that they've done has came back good. The numbers are high where they think they would be high, and where they're not high, they're where they should be. That being said, I can't remember if I said when they put the PICC line in, it made his leg swell. So it was to the point that it was so swollen you couldn't make an indent on his little leg. It was so swollen and hard. But let's see. They'll do blood draws every 4 hours to keep checking his white cell count, platelets, all that kind of stuff. But as far as the swollen leg, I mentioned that this morning to the oncologist when we had our meeting on the phone. And come to find out, he's like his Papa Morgan. Because my dad had this issue with IVs and everything like that, where they put the PICC line in, and the PICC line is so precise of an IV that his body is trying to heal it, so it's actually creating blood clots with the PICC line on the side that's not being used for IV fluids going in all the time. So, and also he has developed blood clots throughout his leg. They did say that they're tiny blood clots. They're not big enough to close off the whole entire vein or artery. So he will be getting doses of heparin, which is a blood, the only way I know to say it is blood clotter destroyer. That's what I think of it as. Is how I thought of it with my dad. So it'll go in and it'll break up those clots. And our concern was, with blood clots, if they get moved and dislodged, going to the heart and lungs and everything like that. And they were quick to say, these weren't big enough to cause any damage. If they did travel to heart, lungs, everything like that, they can't say with certainty that there's not any kind of chance, but it's a high chance that they would just break up completely before they got into the heart and lungs. And if they did, there's not a huge chance of it, causing any damage. Now, as far as the blood draws, they've had to do so much taking blood, as far as, checking cell count, checking all that kind of stuff, but as well, the way they were having to do the PICC line to be able to get blood, because there was a blood clot forming on the end of that line and everything like that. They had to draw so much extra blood, they ended up having to give him blood. So he got a blood transfusion today. So I found out he is O positive like his daddy. So that's a good thing. If I can convince, that's one more reason I can convince Bradley to go get blood, because he is scared to death of needles. So I can convince him to try and get blood now for our son. But as far as the transfusion goes, he got it textbook, as easy as it could go. It's what they expected. He had no reaction with that. As far as his body trying to reject the blood and everything. When they first put the chest tube in, they were doing draws every hour to get the fluid off his lungs. And then they started going to 4 hours. And they told me that they told Bradley, since they're not getting a lot of fluid, if any, every 4 hours, they're going to back off to doing 12-hour draws. And the quicker we get the chemo started, the quicker we can get the tumor shrunk, the quicker we can get the chest tube out. Sorry, I talk with my hands, so I can't. My little talky hand has come out to play since I'm so tired. As far as one of the main things with Burkitt's lymphoma is it can cause an excess amount of potassium in the bloodstream. So they said that there's a possibility of him having to go on dialysis to filter the potassium out of his bloodstream. So they're saying with all these, tests and everything like that, white cell count levels, potassium levels are okay right now. So no dialysis as of now. I have told a bunch of people that we thought we was going to be able to get the hotel. Now with the hotel, unfortunately, the way that we talked, they didn't think to ask, which is not their fault. There was a bunch of stuff going on. But, we always said it takes us between 45 minutes to an hour to get there. Well, you would think we would live far enough away for that. And it has to be for what we were going to be doing. We have to live 50 miles away. And we only live 35 miles away. So, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get the hotel with Erlanger paying so much and us only paying $39. So, with that being said, we have a new social worker who works with oncology, and she will be with us from now on. That's specifically what she does, is just there for me and Doc and Bradley, to help us. So we're going to be sitting down with her to figure out another alternative, I think, tomorrow. So Bradley will be coming back home tonight instead of going to the hotel like we had thought. But also, the last thing is, they had just come in, I want to say about not even an hour ago, to say that finally, we've been fighting this since the very beginning, since we got sent in to pick you. We can have both me and Bradley at Doc's bedside during the day. Both of us can be with our baby during the day. We don't have to switch out during the day. We can both be there to talk to the teams of doctors. Because, since this started, since we got admitted Sunday night, we've not had more than 5 minutes together at a time when we're switching out as a family. So this way we can all be back together. And it'll be easier on me and Bradley. One of us can leave and the other one can stay. But at the same time, they only are allowing one person at night, which I can understand, and that I don't want to say agree, but at the same time, we're still going to do the shifts like me and Bradley had set up, where excuse me, sorry. Bradley does 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I do 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. So even though I can come down there and stay longer, which obviously I will be doing, I want him to leave at the 8 p.m. mark to come home or go wherever to be able to rest for the night. So just in case, I don't feel like staying, I'm just exhausted, beyond exhausted, whatever, and I just need to go home and rest. That way, he can be refreshed enough to be able to be there with an open mind to get everything that the doctors say and everything like that. Me and him still haven't really talked about his whole work situation yet. He did go ahead and take off the rest of the week at least. But I want us to be together, and he agrees about talking over with his work schedule and everything like that. But I think that's it for right now. It got very, very busy again today. So that's just my Cliff Notes version of everything that's happened so far today. While I've been gone, it's about 6:30, a little after 6:30. So it's storming. Well, it was storming. Shift changes between 6:30 and 7:30 a.m. and p.m. So I'm not going to leave here till about 7:15, 7:30, and get there by about 8, hopefully, if it's not storming. If it's storming, I'm not going to drive in it, and I've already told Bradley that. So I don't know if I'll come back tomorrow with another big update or what I'll be doing, but this was just too much stuff to not go ahead and make another video about so far. So sorry guys, I look a mess, a real big mess, and I'm so sorry. But at the same time, I'm so tired. I think I didn't lay down till around 1 because I couldn't do it. So I think I slept from like 1:30 to 3:30, and then I went back to sleep, I think, for another hour or so at the most. So I'm tired. But once again, thank you guys for all the prayers and the donations, and trust me, the donations are going to go to good use. And if we don't use all of them, I will say we have a savings account for Doc. We're not going to use that money for ourselves. If we have money left over, it'll be going to Doc in his savings fund. But thank you guys so much for being here, texting me, sending me words of encouragement, and being there for all of us, and my mom and grandparents and my sister and everything like that. So thank you guys so much. Talk to you later.